All right, so here we go for the next bit here. We've got our shapes drawn in here. Now we're going to go around and use some geometric constraints. So at the moment, a lot of these are kind of just, they're unconstrained as far as like their position and their sizes and in how they relate to the other lines and geometry. So if we go up here to where it says parametric, I click there. You'll be familiar with these. We've used these before in Inventor, and we're just going to kind of play around with these for a sec. So this first row, we don't have to worry about much here. This middle row, where we've got all these lines that we've drawn, we're going to fix them up a bit. And I'm going to make this one right here perpendicular first. So to do that, I'll click on the perpendicular tool. And notice my cursor is like select object, or first object. So click one of these. It's going to say select second object, and I'll click this one. And there it goes. It might look a little different than mine does, but as long as there's a 90-degree angle between those two lines, you've got it. All right, and then the next one over here, we want to make these guys parallel. So parallel is found right here. And I'm going to click the first one and the second one. Boom. All right, and then this line right here, I want to make this one vertical. So I'll click on the vertical constraint, click on this. Beauty. And then moving along, we've got this guy right here and this one here. I'm going to do an angle constraint between these, and I'm going to do a coincident. That is this one right here, or coincident. One day I'm going to learn how you actually say that. You click here, and I can use endpoints. So if I click on the endpoint here and the endpoint here, these will now be linked together, kind of like we just put like a hinge pin between it. And then I'm going to do, well, I'll come back to the angle here in a minute, but there's that. For these ones, I'm going to make this tangent to this one here. I want to make these two equal to each other and make them on the same level. And then I'll make these ones tangent to one another. So this first one, I'll go tangent. I click this first line and then this circle. Boom. Looks good. I guess while I still have tangent on the brain over here, I've got these two circles. I want to make them tangent to each other. Now, my last constraint was tangent, and I can either re-click on it, or I can right-click and say repeat geometric tangent. Boom, boom. Looks good. Okay, now those two are tangent. And now these ones in the middle here. Let's say, actually I'm going to see if I can't resize this just by clicking on it real quick. Yeah. Let's say that these are, well, that's going to be too big. I want to get these to be on the same level with each other so that they're aligned, and I want them to be the same size. So I'll use the equal constraint, which is found here. I'll go boom, boom. Looks good. I love it. And then let's say this one here is a little bit too tall or something, like it's over there. If I want these to line up, I can use the horizontal constraint, and how it says select an object, if I hit the down key, the down arrow, it'll say how about 2 points instead. So that's probably better for when I'm using a circle. So I'll click this one and then this one, and now they are linked together. So if I move one of these, this is a test, I think it'll work. Yeah, that's what I want to see. So if I move one up, the other one moves with it, which is really nice. Okay, so there is that for just getting all of those constraints. If I go back to my final drawing, you can see that these are updated here, and they look great. One thing to notice as well is that here I have my geometric constraints visible. It's possible to turn those off. Up here where it says show, hide, show all, hide all. So if I click hide all, they'll all disappear. Show all, they all come back. Regardless, they won't show up in this one. If we want any of that stuff to show up, we have to use dimensions and other annotations. So, which kind of is a good transition to our next bit here, is using uh, our dimensions. Okay, so right here we have linear, aligned arcs, and diameter, or I think we can actually do radius with that one too, and then angular. So let's start with linear. That's the most basic one, and the one we're probably the most familiar with. And notice that while I have linear selected, if I click here to here, boom, that'll give me this dimension. Now, dimensions are really weird in AutoCAD. This is the part that I don't know, I find it a little bit obnoxious. So in the final drawing, it shows up like this, but I can't really control where that goes. So this dimension it's because it's a parametric, it means it's actually driving the size of this. So if I wanted to edit this line, so let's say I wanted it to be 1.5 instead, then it will change that size. So this is like an actual functioning dimension. Now, if I go to the Home tab and I use this dimension, this one's really weird. If I click from here to here, notice it turned yellow automatically, so that's a good thing. If I go down here or to the layers, you can see the dimensions are by default yellow. That's to help identify that these lines that are in orange are going to be object lines. This one that's yellow is going to look different. So if I open up my, I got to escape first, I always forget that, final drawing, you can see that these lines are a little different. And this right here has got to go. So I've got kind of some redundancy there, and I don't want that one. So to get rid of this, I can use, if I go back to parametric, I can turn off these in this area here. If I say show all, it'll show up. If I say hide all, it'll go away. So, and then my final looks like that. So it's a good way to do it. So if we go back to model, let's go ahead and let's say I'm just placing dimensions just to show what these are already at, not necessarily to change them. So go to dimension. I'm going to just use all my line ones first. Go in here. Try that one again. There we go. Now I've got my diameter. Looks good. My angle, or my arc. The width and the height. And maybe I'll do from the center point to this edge here. Do the same thing here to here. And over here, I'll skip those ones. Maybe I'll do the distance between here and here. That's fine. Let's do the diameters of these guys. Those ones are the same. This one and that one. Okay. So now that I've got those, you can see them on my updated drawing. They're starting to look a little bit more like the example. These line thicknesses are still very narrow though. If you look at the final one, these will be thickened after the we do our export. So that looks good. And if I go back to model and annotate, I can add a couple of other things that are important. So let's say I wanted to make this right here like let's say like a 120-degree angle. So I'd go to parametric because I wanted to actually change the geometry. I'll go angle, this line here, and then let's go 120 or whatever. Whoa, that, wow, that is an ambitious line. We're gonna undo that. I think I typed in the wrong value. So let's try that one again. So angle here to here. And I want that to be 120. Huh, still didn't like it. Let's try that again. That's better. Okay, so that's how you can change it that way. And nice. So the next little bit here would be an annotate. So I've got some other lines here that I'm going to practice using. So we've got center marks, and center marks go on any arc or circular object, or like circles. So if I click here, and I click on this circle, it's going to create that right there. I can click on this arc, it'll do the same thing. Do this here, here, there, and all this. Looks good. And then it'll update on our final drawings as well. Escape first, sorry. Drawing, so that shows up here. Now let's say I wanted to get these to be smaller. Let's say that these little crosshairs are a little bit too much, and on some of these they are. On a future assignment, we'll need to know how to do this. So let's say I wanted to make this one smaller. If I click on it and then right click and go down to say properties, right here I can edit the type of line, the line size, the line weight, and all this stuff. I can also tell it whether or not I want it to show the extension lines. So if I just go from yes to no, it will replace that with just a tiny little center mark without all the extra stuff. And then I can just X out of this box. So that doesn't look quite as in your face as the other one was. So, okay, and I can even do that with, I'm fairly sure I can do that with this hexagon over here. I'm going to try that really quick. Nope, that's not. Yeah, well, all right, so that would give us our most important designs here, just like how to do all that. And that's pretty much it for this assignment. So the final step is to go to Final Drawing, Escape, Final Drawing, and, oh, actually, I almost forgot, Model. We're going to put our names in here. So go Home and Text, and let's just draw like a little box right here and write in your name. So like, and it should be in all caps. Say this is period A1, and oh, and enter. And then you can right click or click off to the side. And notice that the text is really small. I can change that. Why? All right, here where it says 0.1, that means it's a tenth of an inch. So we can make it a lot bigger. Let's make it like 0.5, so it's pretty large. That might be too large. Let's try 0.25. That's better. Okay, let's click off to the side. Whoa, come on. Well, it would appear it likes to stay that. Okay, that is 2.25. Let's try 0.5 again. Huh. I genuinely don't know why that works like that, but okay. So final drawing, it shows up. It looks good. And we're ready to roll. So I'm going to go ahead and go File and save it, of course, save it and keep it in a safe place. But in order to get it to be a PDF, we have to go Export, And notice, this is kind of funny. I said export, I was wrong. If you look at these, it's going to give you a bunch of these crazy file types that we're not used to. That's not the one we want. Cancel, I'm going to go File, and it's actually Print. Right, it's up here. So Print, and it's going to say name or whatever. We can just leave it as it is. And we're going to change this to an Adobe PDF. And we can leave this as the size it is right now, which is 17 by 11, which is the size B. We could, if you wanted to, go to your size, where's it? Size A. It's kind of slow. Oh, maybe not. That one's kind of weird. Let's do, we'll just stick with the original 11 by 17. Cool. And we'll do fit to paper, make sure it fits. And then we'll click OK. It's going to send it to it's sending it to the plotter. That's actually not what it's supposed to do. There we go. That's what I wanted. Sorry. So don't click cancel. It's going to the right place. And you can save it in here. I've got mine in my downloads just for now. I'll end up moving that. Click save. And then when we open it up, it'll look like this. Which is great. We have to rotate it around to flip it. Zoom out so you can see it. But that is our PDF version. So it looks good. And you can submit this. It doesn't have to look exactly the same. I'm just looking to see that you were able to use your all of these tools correctly. So, okay, and that is it. Thank you for watching, and thank you for working hard.